We start with 1 hour chart. First of all, if you refer to our analysis in my last video when the price was within this move, we mentioned about different possibility and we mentioned we can put this one as a flat for one move up with the breakout of this top, then we have to start to manage. And even mentioned mostly we cannot get really good trade setup to look for, as we can see the price sharply continue. And based on 1 hour chart, there was no trade setup. The only way to look for setup when I see this one, if we move to 1 hour, 15-minute chart, because when we see this correction, we see the sharp move, the price drop. The only way was to put our entry above here, because at that times I see if I when I see this one, I see that if we wants to put our entry here, if the price continue in terms of the risk and reward, can give us a really good trade setup. That means if you wanted to get this trade, the only way to look for trade based on 15-minute. Okay, that's why I mentioned even in my last analysis, I mentioned we cannot get really good trade setup, and that's why we mentioned we have to check based on lower time frame. Rather than this, there was no other trade setup to look for. Anyway, as what we expected, we mentioned we can put this one as a flat, and this is what we get. And if we put our fib here in relative to this, 27% is 0.9999 almost the price tag, and the 61% is 1.044, almost the price is there. That's why whoever get this trade, or even they get the trade from here, all right now they should start to manage it, because almost the price at the previous stop. Okay, at least they should book some profit if they want to keep the trade, or at least move their stop loss to break even if they don't want to take out the trade. Now we want to see what's the next, whether the price can break the previous stop, which is 1.07, or not. If there is a continuation with the breakout of this, then we can look for continuation. Okay, that means we can expect the price can break and continue. But right now, as long as the price haven't break this top, any trade within this range, we need to be really careful. Now, I want to see what's the next and what we can see based on higher time frame. If we move to daily chart, and right now we're looking at this, we want to see whether we can cut this one as a start of the up move, the first correction and continuation, or this one can turn to or this one can turn to a flat, bigger flat in relative to this. That's why we need to see the breakout of this top. If not, this flat in relative to this sharp can give us one more drop if we want to follow the structure technically. Because if we move to lower time frame, if we move to forward chart, because again, if we refer to our analysis, we mentioned if we get one more drop, we can get the divergence based on forward chart. Then any reversal from there, we can give us good trade setup. But as we can see, the price didn't give us, I mean, based on forward chart, we don't have the divergence. The only thing is we put this one as a correction relative to this. We need to see the breakout of the stop. Okay. And mostly if there is a continuation, maybe from here we can get the divergence. No. What's the next? Whether the question is whether this is the start of the up move, or we can expect the price to break the top and this one turn to bigger flat in relative to this. That means this is a correction for one more drop. Technically, this is what we can see. Okay, but we don't need to follow that. Whatever the trade we have it, we start to manage it. But the only thing is, as long as the price haven't broke the previous stop, we have to start to manage it. Sorry, as long as the price haven't broke the previous stop, we need to, if we wants to look for trade, we should know that we're buying at the top. That's why if we wants to look for trade, we should have the proper trade setup. Okay, but based on forward chart, we don't have any trade setup. And if I move to 1 hour chart, the only thing says we want to see whether the price can break the previous stop or not, which is this one. And whoever get the trade within this move, they should book some profit, or at least move their stop loss to break even. And even if we wants to look for trade from here, I don't think we can get really good trade setup, even if this one tend to a correction. Mostly we cannot look for trade, because if we move to 15-minute, the way it's moving is really corrective and we see the divergence. Can we have entry above this? We can, but we are buying at the top. That's why it's not really good idea. I don't suggest it. Even we can put this one as a flat for continuation. How we can look for trade? The only way is to put our entry above here, which I won't add in this analysis because not really good trade setup. Then what I can see here, if we want to look for trade, wait for the breakout, flag or correction above that, we can look for buy, unless we see the bigger correction of flag here that can give us a confirmation for continuation. But again, we don't want to buy at the top as long as the price haven't break the 1.07. Okay. Anyway, the only thing is whoever get the trade, they have to start to manage the next target of 1.044 almost there. Then from there, the only thing we want to see whether the price can break the previous top or not. Any trade above that is can be better idea rather than buying within this range. Unless traders they trade based on lower time frame. Okay. In this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.